catching cheaters red-handed. The Dave Ryan Show's War of the Roses.
I first read this scenario for War of the Roses. I'm like, oh, he's married. He's not just cheating.
Obvious to me,
he's
too.
married. And I want you to listen to this because he's keeping so many secrets from Riley that you got to figure that there's something going on when a guy keeps this many secrets. Hi, Riley. Hi. So what's going on? You're dating a guy named Palmer, and you know what I worry about? There's not very many guys named Palmer that people are going to go, oh, my God, Palmer? He's on War of the Roses? Oh, my God.
It's a unique name.
What's going on with Palmer anyway? What made you want to be on War of the Roses?
Well, it's going great. We've been together for 2 months, and he's nice. He's funny. My friends like him. The problem is just that he won't tell me where he lives, and I've never been to his place, and he won't tell me where he works.
Okay, stop right there for a second, because I think just hearing that, people are already judging so hardcore.
Oh, of course, yeah.
What do your friends and family think when you tell them this? That's like the first thing. Like, I would be like, yeah, you got to get out.
Well, my brother is like, don't worry. He probably just has like a crazy roommate. My dad doesn't like him, but I don't know. My friends are like, don't worry. Maybe there's a reason for it. And then I have some friends who are like, he's married.
Well, that's what you would first think is like, oh my God, it's like out of a bad Catfish kind of a story. But it kind of came about slowly because you said in your email that it took you a while to notice that you never went to his house and he didn't tell you where he lived. So talk about that.
Yeah, we did everything at my house. Like he'd pick me up, but we'd never go to his house. We'd just hang out at mine. And after like a few weeks, I was like, I've never been to his house. I don't even know where this guy lives. And it just dawned on me. So I said, hey, let's go to your house sometime. I think it's my turn to see your place.
Mm-hmm.
And he just laughed. It's like, no.
Okay, just no discussion, no reason. So you addressed it. Well, what about the part you said you don't know where he works? Or that he says he's unemployed?
Yeah, he's unemployed right now and he's looking for a job. And I'll ask him, hey, how was your day? Like, how was your job search? And he'll just say fine. And he gives very one word responses and no details, no stories, nothing like that, which is odd to me. You think?
So it feels like he's
hard. You think he'd have something to say about it?
Well, yeah, you would. It'd be like, oh, I had an interview today, and they asked this question, or I think I got a good chance at this job. So you're wondering if he's like really honest about anything without telling you where he lives, and he doesn't tell you if he has a job. He's not telling you, and if he is looking for a job, he is not telling you about it, or he's might not even be looking for a job. Does he seem to have money? Because a lot of time on like War of the Roses or like Worst Date Wednesday, there's a guy who seems to have no money, no car, but he does not show any signs of that.
No, he seems like he's not concerned.
Okay.
About money.
That could be good or bad. That could be that he's just racking up a bunch of, debt, or maybe he was able to be in a position to, know, okay, I'll be fine to leave this job I'm unhappy with and look for another one. I don't know. But
the thing is now, let's back up a little bit. You've been seeing each other for a couple of months, and everything's going great, except by this time you should know where he lives. And that's the big red flag.
I know. I've asked him, why can't we go to your house? And he says, I have my reasons. You just have to trust. Oh,
so you did ask him. Oh, I didn't know that. And he said, I have reasons.
I was nervous, too.
Okay.
After about a month and a half, I finally asked him, why can't we just go to your house? And he just said, I have my reasons. You have to trust me.
Okay, that sounds weird. And obviously you don't trust him, and that's why you're on KDWB right now.
Yeah, it makes me nervous. I'm very suspicious about all this.
I don't blame you.
Yeah, I'd be beyond suspicious.
Well, this is what we're going to do. Yeah. We're going to call him in a few minutes. We're going to ask him who he would like to send roses to. Now, if he's married or lives with his girlfriend, he'll probably choose her to send roses to. But maybe he does have a good reason, and you just have to trust him. But let me ask you this. You listen to the show, call me or text me and let me know, have you ever had this happen to you? How long did you put up with him not telling you where he lived? And what kind of secret life did he have? And what do you think's going on here? I mean, maybe there's a legitimate reason. Maybe, like your brother says, Riley, maybe he does have a crazy roommate that he doesn't want you to run into. But then why all the vagueness about his job and his job search and that type of thing? Call me, let me know your thoughts at 651-989-KDWB. You can text us too at KDWB1. That's our short code, 53921. On Riley, please, and we'll be back for the phone call to Palmer, okay?
Okay, thank you.
A lot of feedback on War of the Roses and people saying, oh my God, yeah, he's a drug dealer. Red flag. This is not good. He lives in his mom's basement. This
Someone
is not good.
said Palmer is probably not even his name.
We want to talk to you, too, and find out what you think is going on here before we make the phone call on War of the Roses. Let's start with Kelly down in Burnsville. Hi, Kelly.
Hi, how are you doing?
Good. What's going on? Why is he not telling her what's up?
Well, honestly, I'm thinking on the more positive side here. I'm thinking maybe he actually has a really good job and a lot of money, and maybe he just wants to make sure she is in the right, in the relationship for the right reason.
Oh, that's a really good point.
You know, there is something to that because I think that probably there's a lot of... I've known people who've owned companies and they had plenty of women that wanted to date them because they had a lot of money, and a lot of them struggled with that because it's like, well, does she like me because I'm loaded or not? Good one, Kelly. Thank you. Sarah in Egan, what do you think is going on? Basically, she's dating this guy for a while, but he won't tell her where he works or where he lives. What's up, Sarah?
I think that he has another family or he's married. I have been the other woman 2 times in a row, and those were the exact same signs that I had.
But
and I chose to ignore them.
Yeah. Ignore those.
Call from.
Ignore those at your own peril, because if you... How did you find out, though, eventually, Sarah?
The first one I found out because he had a picture on his phone of his... it was his newborn.
Oh, my God.
Yep. And then the second time, which was just months after the first one, I got a call from his wife while I was at work.
Wow.
I can't even imagine how...
on his phone.
Yeah. Some people are saying, I know you wanted to think that it's crazy rich Asians, but he probably lives in his parents' basement.
We will find out in a minute. A couple of more calls here. Monica from Roseville. What? Hi. Now, you actually wouldn't let a guy come over and you wouldn't let him know where you live. Tell me why.
So I lived in that part of Roseville where you barely just made it into Roseville. So I kind of just felt like I lived on the lower scale of Roseville. And I was a little embarrassed, honestly. I still lived with my family, and he was a really great guy, and he had his own place. I was just a little embarrassed to show him, what my things looked like, and obviously wouldn't have any privacy over there. So
tell me, where's the nice part of Roseville? And I'm kidding you. I'm joking with you.
Uh-huh.
Hey, thanks for calling, Monica. I appreciate it. Elena, last one. We'll make the phone call in Apple Valley. What do you think is going on?
So I think that he is probably living with his parents. I dated a guy a while back before I was married, and he did the same thing. Wouldn't tell me where he was living, was pretty vague, and finally I said, look, I just need to make sure you're not a serial killer with a bunch of bodies.
Right. Well, yeah. So he came through and he said, I live with my mom.
Yeah, well... yeah, kind of. I kind of forced him to finally tell me about the dating. And he just said, it's pretty emasculating when you're in your late 20s and you live with your mom. And
I get that, I guess.
I think a good question is, at that point, why, though? I mean, sometimes there's a legitimate reason, and sometimes it's you never really bothered to try that hard to get out. But let's find out. We'll make the phone call, and maybe we'll get to the bottom of this on War of the Roses on KDWB.
So, Palmer, I really, just so you know, I just want to mention, I really like that name. It's very unique. We're going to send the roses out to someone special for you today. What I need is the name of the recipient from you.
Okay. Yeah. Riley.
And you can attach a card. That's up to you, but most of our people do.
Okay. Yeah. Can you just say, thinking of you?
Perfect. Yep. We will
he sounds like such a nice guy. I mean, he's passed the test and everything, and I kind of hate to put him on the spot here, but...
I'm thinking about shipping flowers out anyway.
Hey, Palmer, We're just messing with you. It's not your cable company. It's your girlfriend put a couple of DJs up to calling you to see if you would send roses to your girlfriend Riley. You know Riley, right?
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So my name's Dave. That's Fallon. I'm not sure if you've heard of KDWB. Not everybody listens. They should, but not everybody does. She wanted us to call you to see who you would send roses to, because she's told us you've been dating for a couple of months and she likes you and things are going well. But Riley, she's on the phone right now. Tell Palmer what made you suspicious, Riley.
Hi. I feel a little suspicious that I don't know where you live. I've never been to your place. I don't know where you work or where you want to work. And I just think that that's really odd. I'm just worried that maybe you have like a wife or a girlfriend or something that you live with that you don't want me to know about.
So you understand that, Palmer, that she is kind of upset or curious or wondering why you won't tell her where you live, because after a couple of months of dating, it'd be like, oh, not only do you know where I live, but you've been there plenty of times. You spent the night. You eat my food. You sleep in my bed, whatever. So, Palmer, can I ask you, why have you not told Riley where you live? Palmer, you still there?
Yeah, I'm still here. Okay, I'm going to tell you, Riley, and I hope I don't regret this. 3 years ago, I dated this woman, and we weren't clicking, so I broke up with her, but she wouldn't take no for an answer. And if I didn't answer my phone or the text she sent me, she'd come to my house and bang on my door. Or she'd come to my work and wait in the parking lot for me. She'd leave notes on my car telling me that I needed to take her back, and we were meant to be together. It was for 2 whole years.
Oh, my
God.
God.
Never knew where she'd show up. Yeah. And, eventually she just stopped, but I don't know. I still feel like I'm looking over my shoulder.
God, that's awful.
For her. Yeah. It was fucking scary. But you just don't know how crazy someone really is.
So you heard all that, right, Riley?
Yes.
Okay. So you're really gun shy after going through the experience of somebody who you didn't want in your life, but she insisted that she was in your life.
Yeah, it's hard for me to open up again after that, I guess.
Wow. So you're worried that if Riley found out where you lived and then you tried to... You know what this is like? This is like people who go, I don't want to get into a relationship. I'm tired of having my heart broken.
Yeah.
Or somebody who's like, I don't want to get into a relationship. I just got out of an abusive relationship. I'm worried the next guy I date is also going to be abusive.
It's pretty hard not to take your past baggage with you into the new one. And yeah, I get that.
Or if you've been cheated on... You get into a new relationship.
They're going to.
And you're assuming they're going to. So,
yeah.
What about the job thing? I mean, she's told us about how you're vague about, and this is none of my business, and you don't have to answer any of this, honestly. She also says you're vague about, whether you work or whether you're interviewing or whatever. Is that kind of the same thing because you don't want Riley to show up at your job one day?
I work IT over at, and I just didn't want her to show up because there's only one in town.
So you'd rather her think you're unemployed? That part just makes me laugh. I don't know.
That is...
Honestly, I just didn't want to get into... I didn't want to lie to her.
Well, at what point...
But I didn't want to...
I mean, maybe this is the point. At what point were you ever going to say to Riley, you know what, Riley, here's where I live. I trust you. I don't mind if you know where I live and work. When was that going to come? Were you waiting for it, or is it never going to come?
I mean, I just wanted to take it slow. I know we've been dating for 2 months, but it seems like it's still all new, and I hadn't really thought about when I was planning on telling her. I knew that I had to eventually, but it was just a big step. I haven't told anybody since that woman that I dated 3 years ago.
Wow.
And so it's just hard for me.
Isn't that interesting how something can have an effect on you for that long? Mm-hmm. And I can see how you'd be gun shy about that one. Well, what do you want Riley to do? Do you want her to go away? Do you want her to back off? Or do you want her to, what? Riley, what do you think?
I mean, I had no idea that happens, and that makes a lot of sense. But I mean, do you want me to back off, Palmer? I can do that if you want.
No, I don't want you to back off. I think, I mean, I'd like it if we, keep taking it slow, but I think I really do need to just kind of trust you. You've never given me any reason not to. And so I think this is on me, but if you could just understand why I'm a little hesitant at times.